Hey guys, my name is Marley and I was baptized 12 years ago from today. So I grew up in the church basically, and I went through my fair share of Awanas and church camps and VBS experiences, and at almost every single one they had us make salvation bracelets with the colors, and it's a wristband and it's supposed to tell you the gospel story. And then in junior high and high school, they kind of upgraded it a bit to where you just needed pen and paper, and they do a bridge, and then do you and God, and then it's broken, and you can't make it on your own, so the cross comes and makes it better, and blah, blah, blah. And it's awesome, and that's so cool. And I want to share with you guys, I'm talking really fast because I'm excited. I want to share with you guys another example of a way to share the gospel story in a way you might have never seen before, because I haven't seen it before and I just came up with it. So I want to share it with you. So watch this next part, and it's what you can do to share the gospel. Okay. All you're going to need to share this illustration of the gospel is a pen or Sharpie and some paper. Easy enough, right? I think it's important to start with God and man and how they're connected in this awesome, perfect relationship in the beginning. And then you can tell them how Adam and Eve sinned, and that's what broke the relationship between God and man. You'll need a piece of paper that looks kind of like this for the ending, and you'll know why at the end. As you can see, the next few things involve arrows, and I want you to explain to the person that arrows always point to something, and in the Bible, everything points to the gospel, everything points to Christ as the Savior of the world. And so, in the same way, these arrows are all going somewhere and they all have a purpose. This first arrow is going to represent Jesus leaving heaven, coming to earth. You can talk about how he did that, and he was born in Bethlehem in a manger to Joseph and Mary, and talk about how it wasn't a grand thing. He was born in a barn, basically. Next is a horizontal line, because just like we're called to have a vertical relationship with God, we're also called to have a horizontal relationship with people. And Jesus represented that perfectly. He loved people, he healed people, he performed miracles, he taught people. And he's talk about a few of your favorite stories of how Jesus loved people. The next thing is perfection, and how humans can't draw a perfect circle, and you might want to ask the person to try and draw a perfect circle and see how many times they try, and it's just not going to get close enough to perfection. Just like us, we can't live a perfect life, and you got to reiterate that Jesus lived a perfect life and was perfect. He didn't make any mistakes, and he lived a life that we could not live on our own. These next two arrows represent Jesus' death on the cross and his resurrection from the dead 3 days later. You can talk about how he died on Friday, and on Sunday he came back to life, and how us too, if we accept Christ, we will die, but we will also rise and live again and forever in heaven with God. Then bring back that God and man separation thing from earlier, and then I want you to put a cross on it to represent how Jesus reconciled God and man. Now, if you're wondering how to remember all of this, I'll show you how. It's the gospel of love, guys. Share it, love it, tell people about it. It's the greatest love story anyone will ever hear.